welcome back to my nail corner. I am excited for today's video, you guys. Somebody in the Triple D Facebook group had requested something similar to what I'm going to do here, and I also saw someone do a mani with Charge It with flakes over it, and that kind of inspired the look for today. So I want to give credit where credit's due. I will try to find the inspiration picture and pop that in here for you guys to see. But anyway, I am going to go ahead and get into my application here. I have Triple D's Moonlight, which you should be very familiar with by now because I'm using it constantly. I think I need at least 1 ounce of this. I love white in general, but a white that glows is just my whole heart. I love it so much, and it glows so brightly. And then Charge It, which is this gorgeous green, is a fairly new release. I wore it when it first came out, but it wasn't in a video. I just did one, I think a full color mani with it. Wow, my memory is failing me. Anyway, I've used it once before, and it's a beautiful green, and it also glows. And when these were released, somebody in the Facebook group said, what would those look like ombre together? And I was like, they would look amazing. So I decided to go ahead and do that today. However, I'm doing it kind of in a lazy fashion, so take note that this may not be the very best way to ombre these two colors, and I'll kind of explain as I go and also show you how you can make it look, I guess, even better than it turned out. But I knew I was going to put flakes over this, so I wasn't super concerned about the blend. So as you can see, I'm using my typical ombre brushes. Those are Wet n Wild eyeshadow brushes from Amazon. They're like, I don't know, 90 some cents. And if you need some, go ahead and check out my Amazon storefront below. I always have those listed there because I use them a lot and they're super cheap. And super effective. And then I'm just pouring the white over the tip. I'm going to do this in the reverse for the second layer, which typically will help blend it out a little bit better. But like I said, this is kind of the lazier method of ombre. And again, I'm going to go through this and then I'm going to walk you through how to blend it a little bit better than it turned out if you weren't covering this with like a glitter or a flake. But since I am, I will just show you that fix on one nail and then leave the rest as is. So I'm going to go ahead and continue to ombre. I'll be back in just a minute. I got to catch my breath for a second. I just did my workout, decided to jump in and do this voiceover, and apparently I'm still short on breath. So hang in there, watch for a couple minutes, and I will pop back in with some more thoughts for you guys. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead in with my second layer, and as I said, I'm going to do that in reverse. I highly recommend doing that if you're working with an ombre between two solid colors especially, but basically any ombre. Go ahead and do your second layer in reverse order. It helps with the blend in between the two colors. Now, while I am sitting here recording this voiceover, I just got notification from my USPS informed delivery that my Diva box is in my mailbox. I can hardly wait to walk down the street and grab that. I haven't done it in a few months, but I think I might quick record an unboxing of that and pop it up on my channel later this week. Maybe a quick mani too. I have to see what's in there and come up with some good ideas. But yeah, I have a little extra time on my hands this week, and so I'm going to try to get a couple more manis done than I have been doing lately, and I will try to get a few recorded. My husband is out of town this week. I don't know how long you in general, have been on my channel, but last summer you might remember at one point I recorded a mani and he was off climbing a mountain, and he is doing that again. So the last several mountains he's climbed were here in our home state in Washington, but this time he is off to California to climb Mount Whitney. I'm going to pop a little picture in here for you guys. And that is the highest summit in the lower 48 states. So unless you go up to Alaska and climb like Denali or something, which I just never intend to get on board with, Mount Whitney is the highest summit in the lower 48 states. So he should be back by the weekend, but any of you that are praying folks, I welcome your prayers for his safety, and hopefully the whole crew he's with have a good time and don't have any injuries or anything like that. So that being said, I have a little bit extra time on my hands. My kiddos are now on summer break because we homeschool, and though the local school system goes for like another week, I get to be in charge because we're homeschooling, and like I said, we finished our curriculum, so we are now on summer break. So I am going to be doing nails to keep myself occupied, and hopefully that will be entertaining to you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up this second layer. Nothing special here. If you've seen the ombre before, same kind of thing. And then I'm going to pop back in real quick and show you on my pinky how to blend a little bit better than what you're seeing right here. So I'll be back in just a quick second. Okay, so as you guys can see here, not as blended as I would usually like for an ombre. If I had tapped on both colors, I think that would have turned out a lot different. So I'm just going to show you real quickly how I would amend this without redoing the whole mani if I was going to leave this as just the ombre without the flakes. So I am applying base to that nail and then just taking the tiniest amount of powder on my brush there and tapping it along that line between the white and the green, like just ever so slightly right along that line, and it blended it perfectly. Because your base is wet, you want to be real careful not to actually touch your brush to the base while it's wet, just because it's going to be sticky and it's going to mess up your brush and maybe the texture of your dip powder on your nail. But yeah, just ever so slightly add a tiny little bit more powder. I didn't find that this caused any issue. I know it might look like a lot of powder from what you're seeing right now, but it's really not, and it blended it just perfectly. I was just kind of dusting off the little excess gorgeous off of the edges right there, but I didn't find I had like any raised bump or anything with this. In fact, I have to tell you, I did 2 layers of ombre. I'm about to add a layer of flakes, and then I capped in clear. And when I was finished, this was probably like one of the thinnest applications I've had recently. Like, these powders were just really, they laid so nicely and so thinly. I loved this mani. I wore it until it chipped off because I was just in love with it so much. And usually as soon as I start to feel like any lifting, I'm like popping all 5 nails off, but this one I wanted to stay for as long as possible. So I have angel flakes out right now. Oh my gosh, they were so gorgeous on top of this mani. I feel like for this instance, the video doesn't pick it up. Like, you can see the green reflect in the video, but there's like a vibrant, like, I don't know, like pinkish purple reflect as well. These are such gorgeous flakes. I highly recommend. So I am going to just apply 1 layer of flakes on top of each nail. Like you can see, I'm just taking my finger and patting them down to make them lay nice and flat. And then after this, I will cap and clear. So I'm gonna let you guys watch this, and then I will come back and talk you guys through the end of this video. I'm gonna do a matte top coat, but I'm not using gel. I'm using the new Triple D matte dip top coat. So I do want to talk about that for a minute. And then I include pictures at the end and the glow in a video. So make sure you hang in till the end, check that out, and I'll be back in a second to talk through top coat. Alright, so I went ahead and I filed and buffed off camera. Again, these filed and buffed so nicely and so cleanly. I just felt like I had such little work to do and they came out so nice and thin. I was really, really happy with this application and highly recommend these powders. So after filing and buffing, when you're using any dip top coat, you need to go ahead and activate your nails again. So the first layer of activator that you do before filing and buffing is to cure your dip base and your powders together to harden them so you can file and buff. Your second application of activator, as seen here, is to cure your top coat. So it doesn't quite have to be as thorough. It's not trying to soak through a whole bunch of layers. It's just to cure your top coat. So I read the directions real quickly just to make sure it wasn't any different, and this is applied just like a glossy dip top coat. So I had talked to a couple of my girlfriends who had used it before, and they just kind of recommended moving quickly. They said it dries really fast and you want to kind of apply it in as few strokes as possible to the nail. So I am wiping off my excess activator just to make sure that I don't contaminate the dip top coat. That's an important step because you don't want to cure the top coat that's in your bottle. And then I'm going to go in just like I would with glossy top coat. So 2 to 3 quick swipes over the nail. I got carried away, and on that first one I did not wipe off my brush, but what you want to do is wipe your brush on the paper towel before it goes back into the bottle, and that's going to help keep your activator from contaminating your top coat. So 2 to 3 quick swipes over the nail for your first coat, and then you're going to go around for a second coat right away. And you can be a little bit more thorough, but again, I had heard that with the dip top coat, the matte dip top coat, that you wanted to kind of move quickly and in few strokes so that you didn't end up getting kind of a streaky application. So I just kind of did the same thing as my first coat. I did 3 quick swipes over the nail, just making sure to get all the way around to the sides and to the free edge. I didn't cap my free edge. If you want like a longer lasting mani, you might want to make sure you do that. It helps seal everything in really well. But I'm using peel base, so I usually don't really care about longevity of wear. That being said, once this one was done, I really wanted to keep it on like forever and ever. So the matte top coat cured really fast. I really, really loved it. And I have to say, a lot of times the gel matte top coats have what people often describe as kind of like a rubbery feel, just kind of a strange feel. This did not have that at all. Look at how that turned out. It's so matte. It did not feel weird. It just felt smooth. And I apply cuticle oil. I wear a hand lotion. I wash dishes. I do all kinds of things all the time. I know it doesn't sound like long, but I had this mani on for 4 or 5 days, which is long when you're wearing a full layer of peel base, and I did not have that matte turn glossy at all. It stayed matte the whole time. It was flawless. So I just finished up with my Candi Skincare Cuticle Oil, as I usually do, to hydrate those cuticles and keep them nice and healthy and happy, and then I'm just wiping that oil off of the nail so you can see the matte effect. It comes right back to matte. They're gorgeous, and those flakes cannot be denied. So hang in there for a little glow action, a little outdoor video, and I tried to capture this as best I could, you guys, because I loved it so much. Check that out. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you guys in my next vid. Bye now.